Guys, here at my desk I got this new cryptocurrency here. Now you may have heard of Bitcoin and all the hard forks happening lately with Bitcoin Cash and so on, and all the governance issues and um, scalability problems with it. It just doesn't scale because the proof of work consensus algorithm was not meant to handle large loads. So some people have proposed, instead of doing work, lifting weights, to just prove their stake in the network and verify transactions based on their stake. Well, that's the great divide. But what if the people with the stake decide to do something that's malicious in order to increase their wealth? That system is not tamper proof. So what I propose is to combine both of these together. It's not just one in isolation. Proof of work here, it provides security, okay? Whereas proof of stake provides scalability. So the union of these two will provide both scalability to process a lot of transactions and also the security that proof of work provides. Now, there's a problem here because there's now two types of nodes in the network. So what we need is a new tier of node that governs these two parties. And I don't mean govern in the centralized sense. What I mean is that this node is elected by these two parties based on both proof of work and stake, and this node right here will make decisions for the entire network in times of dire situations, like when all these hard forks are happening. When the network needs to adapt, there needs to be some central authority to solve these problems. Now, this cryptocurrency right here, it's called Cyberdust, okay? And what Cyberdust aims to do is solve all these governance and scalability and security problems. And the way it does that is by introducing this concept of a sentinel. Now, the dictionary term for a sentinel is someone that comes in aid when the network is in a dire situation, which fits perfectly with this proof of work versus proof of stake problem we have here. So what is the Sentinel going to do? Well, first of all, it's going to moderate the amount of block rewards, that is, the rewards that are mined and also transaction fees that are received by both the miners and those doing proof of stake, right? So each one of these parties will be getting a cut of the block rewards, and the Sentinel must moderate that. And we propose to do that through machine learning that is hosted on the Sentinel itself. So the system can adapt to changes. If there's more proof of work nodes, then the block reward can be modified to adapt to that change. Now, But that's not all. That's not all that Cyberdust offers. The most important thing that it offers is the ability to create a fresh start. A fresh start, right? What does that mean? Well, currently the blockchain keeps getting larger and larger, and most nodes on the network are unable to keep handling that large amount of disk space that is required as the blockchain keeps getting larger. So eventually, what happens is the mining becomes centralized because the only people that are able to provide that level of disk space are people who invest in a ton of hardware, not ordinary people. So what happens is these huge mining factories pop up, and mining becomes very centralized, which is exactly the opposite of what Satoshi wanted to come up with, what he envisioned. So what we propose is that in order to preserve that purity of decentralization, we propose that the blockchain be destroyed and rebuilt, not very often, but at certain key points in time when the blockchain gets too large. Now, I know this may sound like a wild idea, and you might say, well, what's going to happen to people's funds on the blockchain? Well, that's exactly why we need a Sentinel, a intermediary centralized party, okay, that is able to handle all disagreements during transition periods in the network's life cycle. Okay? So when the blockchain is to be destroyed and recreated, the Sentinel will be the central party to coordinate all that. Because if we did not have a Sentinel, then the proof of work and proof of stake guys would just disagree and not get anything done. So that is what the main function of the Sentinel will be. Now, there will probably be much more functions that the Sentinel can provide, that centralization can provide. But don't get me wrong, we are not centralizing the blockchain. The Sentinel is an intermediary centralized party, which means that when the Sentinel is not needed, it is removed from the system. So it is intermediary, right? Which means that after it has solved the problems of the network, it is removed from the network. And so that is what Cyberdust aims to achieve. Now, if you're interested in learning more, please visit our website and just click on the white paper, and you can read all about this and exactly how it's going to be implemented. Thank you for watching, and I hope you'll join me in creating the Sentinel. Bye.